There was a time when Martell Holt and Melody Shari were seen as the perfect power couple of Huntsville, Alabama, beautiful, successful, and building an empire together as husband and wife. From their college days at Alabama A&M University to launching their real estate company Holt and Holt, everything about their life looked like a dream from the outside. They had 4 beautiful kids, a thriving business, and soon became stars on Oprah Winfrey's OWN network with the hit reality show Love and Marriage, Huntsville. But behind the scenes, the marriage was crumbling under the weight of lies, betrayal, and ego. Martell, charming and ambitious, had been having a secret affair with Arione Curry for over 5 years. And though Melody found out early on and tried to make the marriage work, things kept getting worse. Martell kept cheating, kept lying, and eventually got Arione pregnant, which became the final straw for Melody. She packed her bags, filed for divorce, and walked away from the chaos to protect her peace and her children. The cheating scandal exploded on reality TV and social media, with Martell constantly justifying his actions and blaming Melody while she quietly rebuilt her life and career. Fans watched in shock as Martell spiraled, fighting with cast members, lashing out online, dating women like RHOAS, Shari Whitfield, and losing business credibility while Melody launched her skincare line, dropped music inspired by her healing journey, and became a role model for women who've been hurt but refused to stay broken. Martell took Melody to court for full custody of the kids, claiming she worked too much and left them with babysitters while she stayed graceful and focused on her goals. His public image took hit after hit, especially as Arione also began speaking out, accusing him of manipulation and emotional games even after everything. Then came the wild rumor that Melody was pregnant by actor Hill Harper, and while she stayed silent, Martell lost control online, raging with jealousy and bitterness. Whether the rumor was true or not, the message was clear: Melody was moving on, and Martell couldn't handle it. Their love story, once full of hope and ambition, had turned into one of reality TV's most tragic and explosive breakups. With Melody rising like a phoenix and Martell stuck in a storm of his own making. As the years passed, the emotional toll of Martell and Melody's toxic fallout began showing more clearly, especially when it came to their kids. Melody, while building her businesses and keeping her public image clean, always made it known that her children were her first priority. Despite the cameras, interviews, and constant online gossip, she remained intentional about protecting their peace. But Martell, still desperate to control the narrative, didn't hesitate to pull the kids into his social media posts, sometimes recording videos with them or making claims that Melody wasn't being fair as a mother. These tactics didn't sit right with the public. Many believed he was using the children to manipulate the situation or to damage Melody's reputation. Things got worse when Martell's rants started getting darker and more aggressive. He would go on Instagram Live, pacing back and forth, ranting about disrespect, calling Melody a liar, and even making wild accusations that she was trying to ruin his life. Every time Melody refused to engage, Martell seemed to spiral more. He tried to use interviews and podcasts to defend himself, but every time he spoke, he exposed more bitterness and made things harder for himself. Melody, on the other hand, stepped further into her boss era. She expanded her skincare line, rebranded herself as Melody Shari, and continued dropping music that clearly reflected her pain, healing, and strength. Her fans connected deeply with her lyrics, especially songs like Telltale Signs, which many believed were directly inspired by her broken marriage. She kept rising, booked and busy, moving with grace, while Martell stayed stuck in emotional chaos. Behind the scenes, people started questioning the role of Carlos King, the executive producer of Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Some fans believed Carlos had pushed too hard to keep Martell and Melody's drama front and center for ratings. Others speculated that Carlos had secretly taken sides and allowed Martell to say things unchecked that no other cast member could get away with. Whether it was true or not, The tension between Melody and Carlos was growing more obvious. She stopped promoting the show the same way she used to. And fans noticed she seemed distant, more careful, and no longer emotionally invested in the production. Meanwhile, Arione Curry was back in the mix, going on another wave of Instagram lives, dropping hints that Martell still wanted her, still lied to her, and still hadn't fully stepped up as a father to their child. Some fans started calling Arione's baby the revenge baby, claiming Martell only got her pregnant to get back at Melody for taking control of the divorce. Arione herself seemed confused some days defending Martell, other days exposing him. It was messy, toxic, and emotionally exhausting to watch, especially as Martell continued playing both sides, trying to keep Arione quiet while still obsessing over Melody's every move. Every time Melody posted a peaceful photo or hinted at a new relationship, Martell would mysteriously have a meltdown online or throw a passive-aggressive shot her way. Eve, as the public, watched Martell's spiral and Melody rise. Things behind the scenes were getting even messy, especially in court. Shocking details began to leak about the custody battle, including Martell's attempt to label Melody as unstable and unfit, claiming she was overly focused on her career and left their children in the care of too many people. Melody, as always, responded with class, letting her legal team handle the facts while never using her children as pawns or publicity tools. But the documents painted a clear picture. Martell was grasping for control, not just over the kids, but over Melody's life as a whole. Fans were outraged when they learned he was demanding primary custody after having been the one to tear their family apart in the first place. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more ridiculous, Martell stepped into another publicity stunt by getting romantically linked to Shari Whitfield from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. The relationship felt forced from the beginning, with awkward photo shoots, stiff Instagram lives, and chemistry that just wasn't there. Shari, known for her on-again, off-again drama with exes, seemed to be playing along with Martell's antics, but deep down, fans knew it was all for show nothing real, just distraction from his crumbling reputation. Meanwhile, Melody was silent. She didn't comment on Martell's new relationship, didn't throw shade, and didn't even blink. That silence, that unbothered energy, was more powerful than any clapback. She continued traveling, filming, expanding her brand, and posting peaceful content with her children. While Martell tried to prove he'd moved on, Melody didn't have to prove anything. Her peace spoke louder than his chaos. Rumors swirled that she was dating again, and though she kept things private, little signs hinted at a new man in her life, possibly even someone serious. That's when Martell really lost it. He began posting about betrayal, throwing subliminals about loyalty, and making it clear that despite having a whole new relationship and a child with another woman, he was still obsessed with what Melody was doing financially. Martell also seemed to be struggling. His real estate business was no longer booming. His wine brand, Inest, didn't gain the traction he'd hoped for. And his attempts at starting a men's brunch series fell flat due to low turnout and lack of support. It was clear the public was no longer interested in supporting Martell, not because he failed in business, but because he failed in character. Meanwhile, Melody's supporters continued to grow.